Everything changed when Nicki Minaj sparked chaos across social media, hinting she had serious receipts implicating Roc Nation in setting up some of hip-hop's most controversial names. Fans immediately started piecing together cryptic tweets and Instagram lives, wondering just how deep the rabbit hole went and who else might be involved. Wild rumors erupted, with some saying Nicki was finally ready to pull back the curtain on years of industry games, power plays, and outright sabotage. Suddenly, no one felt safe from the secrets she threatened to spill. But beneath the surface, there's a tangled history between Nicki and Roc Nation, a story full of backroom deals, silent wars, and blacklists. And when you dig into that, things get even more complicated. For years, whispers had circled about a cold war brewing between Nicki Minaj and Roc Nation, but most people have no idea just how deep it runs. Industry insiders have long hinted at silent blacklists and unspoken rules, with Nicki often finding herself conveniently left out of major events or facing last-minute business decisions that didn't quite add up. Fans remember the subtle digs in lyrics and interviews, the moments when Nicki hinted at powerful forces working against her, but most brushed it off as typical rap beef until now. Behind the scenes, stories have emerged of backroom deals where careers are made or broken overnight, sometimes with just a single phone call from the right executive. It's the kind of drama that never makes the headlines, but shapes everything we see on the surface. And if the rumors are true, Nicki's grievances go way beyond petty drama. They're about power, control, and who gets to shape the future of hip-hop. But that wasn't the whole story, because when it came to the Tory Lanez case, things got way more complicated. The Tory Lanez saga took a wild turn when whispers started spreading about Roc Nation's fingerprints all over the case. While the headlines focused on the courtroom drama, insiders claimed there was a whole other story playing out in the shadows, one involving media manipulation, silenced witnesses, and sudden shifts in the narrative. Nicki Minaj didn't hold back, suggesting that powerful hands behind the scenes were pulling every string. Fans couldn't help but notice how quickly the story flipped, with blogs and influencers all pushing the same angle almost overnight. Questions started swirling. Was Tory being made an example of? Who really benefited from his downfall? And where did all these news sources suddenly come from? It didn't help that rumors popped up about last-minute deals and pressure to keep certain details quiet. For some, it felt less like justice and more like a carefully orchestrated takedown. But that was just the tip of the iceberg, because when you look at what happened to Casanova, the pattern gets even harder to ignore. Casanova's downfall sent shockwaves through the hip-hop world. But what really set tongues wagging were the whispers about who might be pulling the strings behind the scenes. As soon as accusations surfaced, rumors flew that this wasn't just another rapper getting caught up. It was something far deeper. Nicki started dropping hints about industry power players eager to keep certain voices quiet, and fans immediately looked to Roc Nation. Was Casanova targeted because he knew too much, or just thought too close to the wrong secrets? The sudden shift from rising star to locked up felt suspicious, especially as stories emerged about mysterious meetings and calls before his arrest. Some even claimed he was warned to keep his mouth shut, or else. With every new detail, the idea of a setup seemed less like wild speculation and more like an open secret. But that wasn't the end of it, because once you unravel Casanova's story, the connections to 6ix9ine and even messier betrayals start to come into focus. The tangled web between 6ix9ine, Roc Nation, and industry insiders is where things spiral from shady to outright wild. As soon as 6ix9ine burst back onto the scene after his headline-grabbing case, people started asking how he managed to land on his feet, especially with so many enemies in the game. Nicki Minaj wasted no time hinting at hidden alliances and backdoor conversations that most fans would never suspect. The rumors got crazier. Whispers about secret protection deals, power moves made in boardrooms, and even once loyal friends turning on each other for a shot at survival. Some claimed the same shadowy figures who iced out Casanova had a hand in 6ix9ine's comeback, playing both sides to keep their grip on the narrative. The betrayals ran deep, with Nicki suggesting people at the top were more interested in control than loyalty. And just when the connections seemed impossible to untangle, Nicki hinted she had proof that would flip everything upside down. But even that was just the beginning, because the real shock came when she started teasing what she was holding back. Suddenly, Nicki set the internet on fire with whispers about receipts that could blow the lid off everything. Screenshots, voice notes, and cryptic messages started making the rounds, each one supposedly hinting at deals gone wrong and conversations that never should have seen daylight. Fans went into detective mode, dissecting every clue and speculating about what Nicki might actually have stashed away. Was she sitting on contracts, audio leaks, or something even more dangerous? The suspense was real, especially when Nicki teased that what she knew would ruin reputations and shift the balance of power for good. Social feeds flooded with wild theories. Some claimed she had proof of secret meetings. Others insisted she was holding back out of fear for her own safety. The energy was electric, because if Nicki really had the kind of evidence she claimed, it could send shockwaves from boardrooms to the streets. But the hype didn't stop there, because as people dug deeper, even crazier fan theories and speculations started catching fire. It didn't take long for wild fan theories to explode all over social media, with people convinced Roc Nation was pulling strings behind the scenes in ways even the boldest rap lyrics never dared to mention. Some insisted that major stories were managed before they even hit the blogs, with certain artists getting mysteriously favorable coverage, while others were suddenly blacklisted or smeared. Screenshots claiming to show leaked texts and burner accounts started popping up, fueling suspicions that the industry's top execs were running a secret playbook, deciding who gets a comeback and who gets canceled. Even industry insiders started dropping cryptic hints, like deleted tweets and backhanded comments in interviews, making the rumors almost impossible to ignore. The more people dug, the more patterns they found, from sudden PR shakes to coincidental arrests that always seemed to happen at the perfect time. Was there really an invisible hand guiding the fate of hip-hop's biggest names? Or was it just the internet connecting dots that weren't there? Either way, one thing was clear. The line between fact and fiction was getting harder to see, and nobody knew what would come out next. But as the internet buzzed louder than ever, Nicki's hints suggested the real secrets were still buried, and what she might reveal next could change everything. At the end of the day, Nicki's revelations have forced everyone to question just how much we really know about the industry's power players and who's actually pulling the strings behind closed doors. Suddenly, it feels like every headline, every viral moment could have a hidden agenda nobody saw coming. Are these just wild accusations? Or has Nicki cracked open a world of secrets that top execs never wanted out? The lines between rumor and reality are blurrier than ever, and even the most loyal fans are starting to wonder who's protecting whom. If what Nicki's hinting at is even half true, hip-hop's biggest feuds and alliances might all be part of a game designed by people we never see. The real question now isn't just who's telling the truth, but how many more secrets are still out there, waiting to be revealed. But underneath all the speculation and viral theories, there's a bigger question that nobody wants to say out loud. How many artists have actually paid the price for crossing the wrong people? Some insiders whispered about careers that vanished overnight, projects that suddenly got shelved, or artists who just faded out after one too many bad meetings. There are stories about threats, silent warnings, even people close to the action deciding it was safer to disappear or keep quiet. The wildest rumors suggest that some tragic endings, like artists who OD'd or supposedly offed themselves, weren't just random, but messages to anyone thinking about going against the system. As the conversation gets louder, you have to wonder who else might be sitting on secrets, scared of what could happen if the truth ever comes out. And if Nicki really does have more to reveal, she might not just be risking her career. She could be kicking off a storm the industry's never seen before. But that wasn't the end of it, because the next move could flip the entire game on its head. If Nicki really decides to pull back the curtain, it could send aftershocks through every corner of the industry. Suddenly, everyone who thought they were untouchable might be forced to answer questions they've dodged for years. People are already whispering about locked vaults of evidence, private group chats, and whispered threats, proof that the stakes run way deeper than anyone realized. The real drama isn't just about leaked receipts or viral tweets, but the possibility that decades of secret deals and silent betrayals could finally come to light. Would the truth finally break the system? Or would the powers that be strike back even harder to keep their grip? As fans and insiders hold their breath, one thing is clear. Hip-hop's biggest secrets have never been closer to the surface, and what happens next could change everything. Here's the part nobody saw coming. Just as the dust started to settle, whispers began swirling about other artists who might be sitting on their own arsenal of secrets, waiting for the right moment to speak out. Rumors are flying that Nicki isn't the only one with dangerous receipts, and that there are group chats buzzing with stories of blackmail, silent threats, and hush money changing hands to keep certain names out of the spotlight. Some say rising stars have already been warned to stay in line or risk having their careers erased before they even start. It's got everyone questioning who's really loyal and who's just biding their time, playing along until it's safe to reveal what they know. If even half these claims are true, there could be a wave of bombshells still to come, ones that would make Nicki's revelations look tame by comparison. But that wasn't the whole story, because as more insiders start dropping hints, the pressure is building, and it's only a matter of time before someone finally breaks the silence. And just when people thought they'd heard it all, another layer started to peel back, one that could shake the industry for years to come. Whispers grew about secret alliances between rival camps, with claims that some of the biggest names in hip-hop might have joined forces behind the scenes to protect themselves from the same kind of setups Nicki's been warning about. Screenshots of private DMs, mysterious burner accounts, and encrypted message leaks began to circulate, hinting that stars who once seemed like enemies were actually sharing information to keep the real puppet masters in check. Suddenly, names that never appeared together in public started popping up in the same rumors, raising questions about just how deep this underground network goes and what could happen if it ever exploded into the open. The idea that enemies might unite for survival turned everything upside down, making fans question every feud and alliance they thought they understood. But that wasn't the whole story, because as the temperature keeps rising, the next revelation could be the one that finally blows the lid off everything.